as they alluded to in the video, he had no voice. Absolutely none. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 20 minutes before we were supposed to go up, and he could not talk. And it's, we had an understudy in theory, and he had, his understudy had an understudy in theory, and nobody wanted to go that route, of course. And what I remember is somewhere came this crazy idea about a silver spoon and some vinegar that somebody heard about that they used to do in opera or something, and that drinking some vinegar out of the silver spoon would somehow magically cure your voice and you'd be able to go on and do the whole show. I remember sitting there thinking, trying to remember my chemistry and going, the acid metal reactions, I'm not sure you're supposed to drink that. I've never gone back and looked up what that actually results in, because I really never want to know. But somehow he did the entire show, and he was as good as you will ever find. I think it was better than any other time he did the show. I don't know, that might just be me, but he was amazing, and there's no way that vinegar on a silver spoon did squat. I mean, that's just whatever. It was Bob. And the next show we did do the whole understudy, and it was an amazing experience all by itself. But I can't believe that a man, after just some vinegar on a silver spoon, went up and did an entire King Lear when literally he could not talk. There was nothing coming out of his voice. And that's what I'll always remember about Bob, is it didn't matter what happened to him, somehow he could pull it together and do something like that, and it's just astounding.
I'm just going to say something really, really fast. I had quit the theater. I had been out of the theater for 10 years, and I moved to Colorado Springs. And Sue Lowell said, Bob Pinney's directing this play, you should read it. Well, I read it. And I read for him, and he gave me the part, and it was deeply personal. Eleemosynary was just this like real watershed moment. And I thought, I've done it. I came back to the theater. I'm quitting again. Bob calls me up and says, I want you to do Road to Mecca. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't like Road to Mecca. I thought the play was overwritten, and I thought I had way too many words. And I didn't get to wear makeup, which really totally freaked me out. And he said, no, come here. And then I said, oh, okay. And then he said, I want you to do The Visit. And damned if I wasn't hooked. I was hooked again, and I haven't been able to quit since. Bob was a guy who got what he wanted. And so, it's like, bless you, I think. No, bless you, Bob.
Okay. I'm a baby too, and I'm not a stage person, so forgive me if I look nervous because I'm so am. I just wanted to, my heart goes out to all of you who knew Bob. I have the privilege of only meeting him face to face actually once, and that was through my brother, Chris, who's with me tonight. I feel Bob's presence here today, and all of you. I got to speak to him on the phone for about 2 weeks in February, and we spoke about every night for about 2 weeks, and he loved you guys. There was one time he was actually crying, and he apologized to me for crying, because I called him at a bad time, I guess. And he apologized for crying. I'm like, Bob, I said to him, I'm all over the place, I know, but in conversation with him, I remember saying, I'm beginning to understand what a great man you are. And I said, don't you know that? And he said, I'm beginning to understand that too. And that was just in February. And just from knowing him from my brother Chris and all of you, I realized, wow, what a great man. And I feel robbed of not knowing him and not seeing him in a production ever, but I just feel that he was, I guess I'm up here because all of you actors and actresses had the privilege of working with him, but he was a person, even outside of he's made a huge difference in my brother's life. He was my brother's mentor out of acting. They met through different venues. But someone over here said that he made a difference in people's lives. And he did, even outside of the acting world. And I guess for those of you who don't know him outside of the theater, he did. He changed people's lives. And I've only met him face to face once. And when I met him, I didn't know what a great man he was. Otherwise, I would have, I would have asked him for his autograph. I would have, gone to see his shows more. I would have been in theater. If I would have known what a great man he was at the time. But I met him just as a person, just as somebody who was mentoring my brother and really changing his life. And he's just a really great man outside of the theater too. And I wanted to make sure everybody knew that, and didn't know him outside the theater. And Joel, man, he loves you. He really talks about you a lot. And I talked to him. Really cared and appreciated what you did for him. This is my brother's friend.
And I come from a very troubled upbringing, and I didn't know what to have to do in my life. And I met Bob. And this is the first person I ever met who wanted to make sure he was looking me in the face and wanted to know what was wrong. And we got to talking, and the rest is pretty much history. Bob taught me how to love myself, how to change my life. He was the realest person I'd ever met. He's a hell of a He also asked me one time if I was lying to him. I had a relapse. I found myself being the most honest with Bob than I ever have with anybody, including God. I didn't know how to get on my knees and pray. I didn't know how to ask him. I didn't know. Bob has a lot of intellect and a lot of insight. He also had over 18 years sobriety when I met him, and I never known. And I had the privilege of seeing him here on stage, playing Scrooge myself. And he caught me lying to him, and the next night he had me over for dinner. And the son of a bitch put laxative in my food. And now all you people, you had such a great experience working with him on that level. I know about the comedy, I know about the spitting. Because I really have a tough time seeing things the way I should have, Hopefully my life is going towards helping other kids go through child abuse, drug abuse, things like that. But there really was another side of Bob. He wasn't no actor to me. He gave his best performance to me. So, thank you.
I'm really pleased to see a lot of you folks that I've not seen in a while. It's like being away from family for a while. And I'm glad this commentary has taken the turn that it's had, talking about Bob's depth of heart and love for people. Those of you who have worked with me know how cavalier and easygoing I can be sometimes. And at one point, at the end of the run of Treasure Island, I didn't